Hello, I'm Bex with Black Whisper Crafts, and today I'm just going to do some more stamping with my scraps. And I am going to start out first with my script stamp, and the sticky has gone off the back of it. It no longer sticks, so all I need to do is get a cheap chapstick or lip balm and put a thin layer on the stamping block and put the stamp on top of it. And just like this, a little thin layer. You don't need much for it to stick. And then just set it on top, pat it down a tiny bit, real gentle, and set it aside for a moment and it will adhere. And it should last for a little while for you. And here are the stamps I'm going to use. I'm going to use the rib cage and the lungs. I have my scraps of tea-dyed paper left over from a project. I just wanted to get them used up and thought this would be a perfect opportunity. And I'm going to get the lungs first. They look to be just about the right size for that. I'm going to use H Mahogany Tim Holtz Distress ink. Just inking up my stamp there. Doing it a little bit at a time because this H Mahogany is a very juicy stamp. Get the right placement, kind of in the middle. I want them to look like bloody lungs, but not bleeding lungs. Let's get the next one stamped out. I think that looks really, really good on that tea-stained paper. Yeah, the second one looks great also. And now I'm going to do the rib cage. This is the first time I've used this stamp set, and I really think it turned out good. I'm using Mementos Black Tuxedo or Tuxedo Black. I can't ever remember which one it is. Let's see how well this stamps on the tea-dyed paper. Which side do we want to use? This is the side. Okay. There we go. Oh, that looks really, really good. I like that. Nice, crisp looking ribs. Rib cage, not ribs. That turned out great. I really like it. The lungs look good, and the H Mahogany and the rib cage looks really good in the black. I'm really pleased with that. I really, really liked how they turned out. Now what I'm going to do is use some ground espresso, and I'm going to use my script stamp. Let's see if we can get 2 on 1. Not quite, no, not 2 on 1. That's okay. And it will take 3 stampings of this script stamp to get the whole thing covered. But that's okay. I don't mind. I like stamping. There, looks really pretty. I like it. I like how the ground espresso looks on top of that tea-dyed or tea-stained paper. But the first stamp, I will stamp it on the beginning of the script. The second stamp in the middle, I will stamp on the middle of the script. And then the last stamp, the last row, I will stamp with the end of the script. So it looks like it's a whole one continuous script stamp. That works for me. I haven't quite found another script stamp that is 5x7, 4x6, or 3x5 that I really particularly like. So, and I don't remember where I got this one at, unfortunately, or I would buy another one so I could just line them up on one big stamp block. But I like how they turned out. I think they're looking really good. I like to layer up my stamping, and I like to create things that no one else has, and that's a good way to do it with your stamps, because no one does quite the style that you do. Of course, everyone knows this is my style, which is Beck's style. And now I am just going to use the ground espresso, and I'm going to ink up the edges so they look a little bit more grungy. I love the grunge. I'm going to do the same color of the ground espresso on each one. And I have sped this up so you don't get bored just watching me ink up the edges. But you can ink up the edges with any color and it looks great. It's whatever your color preferences are. I have 2 of the lungs and I have 3 of the rib cages. And I'm going to use my crimping shears. I think that's the name of them. Crimping shears. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. Crimping shears? No, pinking shears. Sorry about that. They are pinking shears. I'm just cutting the edges of one of each to see how I like it, because I think it makes it look like a stamp, or it gives the illusion of a stamp. These are very large stamps, but that's what I'm going for, is the illusion of a stamp with these pinking shears. And I'm going to go ahead and use the black ink, Tuxedo Black Memento, and just go around the edges just to ink them up a bit more and grunge them up a bit more. I like that look. I think it looks really good. I like how they turned out. Just going back in a little more on the edges and inking them up. Oh, they look really good. I really like that. I just like to line things up just so I can see where I'm at. I like how they turned out. And I have these little black doilies that I really thought would look creepy cute on the back, but it looks like I have not cut my stamps down enough. So let's go at that again. Cut them down a little bit smaller. Oh yeah, I think that'll work good. I'm just going to go back in and ink the edges again with black, because the ground espresso, you can still tell it's on there. And I'm just going to use a glue stick to go on top of the doily, on the little bitty spot, top of the doily, just so I can get my placement before I put a permanent glue on it, because the doily is really thin. And it has escaped me what the name of this glue is. I'm just using it up to use it, because I got a recommendation off of another channel that it dried clear, and it does not dry clear. So now I'm just using it up just because I have it. As long as it's not showing through, then, or you don't get it on something that you don't want glue to show through on. I think that looks good. The rib cage looks really good. I'm going to cut the lungs down. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? Cut the lungs down. I'm going to cut the paper around the lungs. I really, really like how these lungs turned out. I think they look really great. So I'm going to go ahead and use the aged mahogany to put just a little bit more of that deep blood red color on there. I just think it brings it all together more, and I like it. And let's see how it looks on the little black doily. Oh, that looks really, really cute. I like it. Do the same thing, just use just a little bit of the glue stick on that center part of the doily, just so I can get my placement before I put some permanent glue down. And I'm really squeezing this out because I want to use all of this glue up. It wasn't terribly expensive, but it's a tiny bottle, and it did not do what I expected it. So I'm just using it to use it up, because it does not dry clear. Those turned out really, really nice. Then I forgot to ink up my other lungs. I want to ink them up with the aged mahogany, put a little bit of that blood red color in there. So I think that just looks really cool. I like it. So I'm just going to do the other one. So they both have the same color of the aged mahogany on the edges. And this is the end result. I hope you like them, and you can do any of the stamping that I do with any of your colors or any patterns, and just make it your own. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm Bex with Black Whisper Crafts. Have a wonderful crafty day.